I have to sneeze. All right, we're supposedly live. Let's see if I can get the links out there for people. No, the internet's been slow. Did that work? No, I don't think that worked. How does one share one's stream? Hello, Hedgehog. I'm trying to figure out how to share the stream because I don't actually know how to do any of this. What is that? Oh, there it is. Cool. I figured it out. Hi, Jesper. Just sharing the stream around places because people need to know what's happening. Just doing all the prep stuff here. Oh man, I look so great in that thumbnail. Forgot to put my lipstick on. We'll do that in a second. All right. Twitter. Let's get people on Twitter. Tell them all about the stream. That'll work. I look so happy in my little thumbnail. I wasn't prepared to take the thumbnail because I'm not used to streaming and it just takes a thumbnail right away, like a picture of you. I'm sure there's a way to modify it, but I don't know what that way is. I was not prepared for it. Question in the chat? What is that? What's going on? AuthorTube Facebook? You mean, am I sharing it to AuthorTube Facebook? Hey, Azrael? Gonna help this how to pronounce your name? Yes, I am sharing it there as well. Hedgehog. Okay. What am I doing? AuthorTubers. If I had been smart, if I'd been ready for that, I would have held up the damn book. Keep having to see the stupid thumbnail. I'll figure out if I can change it in a minute. Adam, are you in the chat? Adam's going to be watching the chat. Love the color of what? The hair? It was supposed to be black. The blanket. It could be the blanket. Or the eyeshadow. The hair was supposed to be black. But it wasn't. This is the second application of dye as well. It just does not want to be black. See if I can put on lipstick using only the webcam. Not bad. It's not the worst lipstick job ever. Not the best, but not the worst. Hello, Chocolate Witch. I love the short hair on me too. I used to have really long hair, but I hated it. All right, have I got my stream up in enough places? Probably not. They can probably hear you, Adam, if you want to talk.
If I'm careful with my volume, they cannot.
Okay.
I can hear this.
Adam wants to be sneaky incognito. Okay, let's see. One more place I need to save it, and then I think we're good to actually like start having the actual proper stream. Maybe I'll try to figure out how to change my thumbnail. Maybe I don't care. Everybody's saying hi to Adam. Adam, lean into frame so people can like appreciate your cuteness.
I said hello on the streamy texty thing. I'm typing.
Now they can see your beautiful face.
Beautiful.
Oh, my lipstick is so bad. Sup, Zaire? See if I can fix my lipstick. Probably not. Is he gaming too? Probably. Are you gaming too, Adam?
Yes.
Yes, he is. Because of course he is. Thank you, Chocolate Witch. We look great together, unlike my lips. That's so great. We're that adorable couple that everyone hates because we're so fucking cute. I should probably try not to swear.
Probably. By the way, we are 6:02, so the official stream has started.
It has started.
Agenda.
Firelight says that if Adam was in the chair of the cats, we are not at home. This is not my home. We are in town at my husband's office because my internet at home would not run this stream. Not in a million billion years. Oh, Hedgehog hates us individually too. That's good. It's important to have both. Diversify. Okay, so yeah, the book, the thing, the reason we're here, The Wolf and the Hawk. This is the not for resale. What's the word for it?
Demo copy.
Not demo, but basically. The cat babies are good, Chocolate Witch. They won't. Unfortunately, there will be no animals in this stream because we could not take them to my husband's office with us. It's not an ARC. It's to make sure that I can check for any errors and stuff. Like there's an error, I think, in front of chapter 6 that I went in and fixed for the final version. Yeah, there's a whole ass blank page for no reason in front of chapter 12, actually. So I went in and fixed that. Proof, yes, thank you. Proof is the actual word for it. But anyway, this kind of gives you an idea. I also made the font 1 point smaller, so it might not be as chunky when you actually get it, probably. The cover is very pretty. And my patrons helped pay for the cover. Without patrons, you would not get this awesome cover. So if you're wondering what my patrons are doing around here, kicking ass and giving me awesome covers is what they're doing around here. So, and I also brought the tiny fail bookmarks. If any of you saw my post about that, I went to get bookmarks and I didn't pay attention to the sizing because I was in a hurry. This is what happened. But I'm still going to give them away. I'm going to sign them and give them to people. I'm going to be giving these out like candy later, so prepare for that. So what I was thinking we would do is for the first half hour, we will, Hedgehog Dilemma, you can probably have more than one fail bookmark. For the first half hour, we will do like an AMA probably, and then we'll start giving out presents after that, prizes. We'll have a good time. Hello, Grace E.H. Connor's here. Hey, Connor. Connor's an awesome human. Everyone should love Connor. Extra Hero is also here. Just about to take a nap. You just put me on in the background and nap. It's fine. You can get the paperbacks on Amazon. It's all live, and I put the link in the description for this stream, which I don't know how that works or where you find that, but it's there. I put it in there. So, Cabbage Lord, hello. So AMA first, and then when we're done with that, we will start just giving away prizes as much as we can. So that'll be fun. How long will this stream be? I'm guessing probably about an hour, maybe an hour and a half if we're having a really good time. Norway. Hello from not Norway.
Significantly less exciting than Norway.
Very much less exciting than Norway. I love the cover too. The cover is awesome. Props to my cover artist, Amber. I will try to get you guys a link to her at some point. Hedgehog Dilemma, I will give you a prize for doing nothing. But first, AMA, preferably about the wolf and the hawk, but legitimately it doesn't have to be. You can just like ask me anything and I'll probably answer because I have no filter. So, but questions about this bad boy. Bad girl. I don't know the gender of this book. Maybe it's genderless. It's a book.
Well, it is the wolf and the hawk, so it is both genders.
It's true. It does cover both genders. So the book is gender fluid, or yeah, gender fluid probably closer than gender neutral. So, okay. The only difficult one is Ryoni, because people want to pronounce it Ryon, but the E on the end does make an E sound. So Ryoni, the main character, is the one that's confusing to people. Azra, her friend, might be also confusing, but I think most people have gotten that one right. Everybody else's should be pretty easy. I think most people don't have trouble with it. Ryoni, yep, that's how you pronounce it. So when you're reading it in your head, not Ryon.
You should check out Storytelling. It's Ani Sophie. Their last comment. You might be intrigued and want to say something.
Okay, where is storytelling? It's interesting that the hawk looks so delicate next to the wolf, which most people feel contradicting as the male, but I think it looks great. Yeah, that's intentional. Obviously, the wolf represents Ryoni, and I wanted her to look more carved from stone, more rough-hewn because of the tribe that she comes from. They're a nomadic, wild tribe, so I wanted her to look carved. And then the hawk, which is Xander, looks much more smoothed and I can't think of words. This is why I don't do lives, because I can edit out all of this stuff where I can't think of words. Smooth and refined. He's a refined boy. All right, we got questions.
Grace has a question.
Grace, hardest character to write and why? None of them. I don't really have trouble writing characters. Xander was a little hard to calibrate because when beta readers got the book, they were like, we don't like him. And I was like, oh, okay. You're kind of not supposed to at first, but like you have to have some little inkling of maybe I could like this guy. Otherwise you stop reading. So I had to calibrate Xander a little bit, and hopefully now he's better where you can still be like, dude, but you'll keep reading. Hopefully is the goal.
So
Hermione screwed me up so bad. Yes, I was actually thinking about that Hedgehog Dilemma. How I was like, maybe I made a mistake making a character whose name no one knows how to pronounce. But then I'm like, I didn't know how to pronounce Hermione, so whatever.
I'm going to interject in here. The hardest character to write are the two that are everyone except the two POVs. But Julian has expanded to two POVs in this book. So.
No, I haven't. It's only one POV.
Is it?
It's only one. Only Ryoni, which I did on purpose. I don't like romance stories with two POVs. I want to be able to get to know the romantic interest through through the lead character. Let's see. Did any of the beta readers' comments surprise you? Of course they did. Can I remember what any of them are? Probably not. I was like, I've talked about this in a video. There's a point late in the book where someone is severely injured and not having a good time. They're at their lowest point. And the beta readers were so hilariously merciless about it. They were just like, why is he being so pissy? And I'm like, well, he's in a lot of pain. So probably that. And I mean this in like the nicest way. I love my beta readers. They were all awesome. But also I laughed sometimes because I'm like, well, he's not having a good day. Let's see.
Next one is Jesper Nielsen.
Jesper.
Oh, wait, no, you might have already responded to that. Did
I'm
any
already
male
losing.
readers comment surprise?
Okay, yep, that was the last one I did. Hedgehog wants to know, is there an ace character? Yes, there is. And it's not really a spoiler for me to tell you that it's Azra. Also, the character of Anna may be on the asexual spectrum, but it's not in the book, so I don't, like, on the page, so I don't count that as, like, true representation. But Azra is. Yes, Extra Hero, my artist did do a very good job. And they were very accommodating and like just kept tweaking until I was happy. Was there anything you had to spend a lot of time researching for plotting writing? I did research some stuff. Can I remember what it was? I don't research before I get to a point because I'm a pantser. So I'm like typing away and I'm like, shit, I don't know anything about this. And then I just deep dive for a while researching it, and then I come back to the story, and I'm like, okay, I can keep going now. That's how I research. Trope Trinity Trilogy. Oh, I'm sad you can't stay, but thank you for stopping by. You're the best. I'm sad we don't get to like chat as much as we used to. You don't usually write romance. Why this? Why now? That is a great question, Hedgehog. I don't know. I don't know. I just started writing it and it was like, this is a fantasy romance. Where did this come from? How did this happen? Adam?
Did you do it for me?
I did it for Adam. I have no idea why I decided now is the time to write a fantasy romance. But it just came into my brain and then I started writing it and it was a fantasy romance. Although I have been trying, I've written a version of this story a long time ago, in that it was another arranged marriage story where the arranged couple had to fall in love with each other instead of the girl falling in love with somebody else and there being a triangle or whatever. So I have written this in the past in stories that no one has seen. So I think it was kind of just coming around again, but this time I felt like I was ready to put it out there instead of just keeping it to myself. And that's kind of why it happened.
I'll throw in there.
Mm-hmm.
You've been grumbling about many of the fantasy romance tropes that are out there.
True.
And so your wrath and rage at all of them might have just bubbled up to a high enough level that a book came out.
It's just like, I'm so sick of all these tropes. I'm writing a book. Of course, I do use some tropes in it as well. I can't sit here and pretend like I don't use any fantasy tropes because I do, or any romance tropes because they're there. I don't use the ones that I don't like, or I subvert the ones that I don't like.
So we'll jump Margaret's question real quick since we're talking about tropes. Hedgehog Dilemma has a trope question.
Okay.
Were there some tropes you set out to flip, destroy when you started writing?
The main one was the arranged marriage where the girl falls in love with someone else. Because I always wanted to have an arranged marriage story where did we freeze? Oh, okay, we're back. Sorry, my screen froze for a second. I always wanted to have an arranged marriage story where the couple actually fall in love with each other. And I know there are other books like that, and that's becoming more popular now. So it seems like I'm writing on a trend, but that was not intentional to write on that trend. Subvert other tropes. I don't know, with Rioni, or Rioni, I can't even say my own character's name. With Rioni, she's obviously a kick-ass lady, and she's like built like one with muscles, and she's tall, and she's big, and she's tough, and she doesn't like to read, which so often is something that you see in romantic female leads, is they're all really bookish, and Rioni just doesn't get books because her tribe doesn't believe in writing things down, really. They're all very memory and storytelling based, and so she's like, well, I don't understand books. Xander likes books, but Rioni does not understand them. Let's see, what else we got?
Jump back to Margaret had a question. How did you handle pacing in this book? How do you include calmer scenes while still moving the story forward?
This is going to sound really self-centered, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word. because I practice so much. This isn't just something that like I came out of the womb knowing how to do. I write a lot. And I have been for my entire life. So, and because I've been a pantser for my entire life, because I never knew there was any other way to do it, I instinctively pace. Not that it's perfect every time, and it's definitely not perfect in the first draft, but I have kind of an instinct for, okay, we've been quiet for a while. We need an action scene. What could that action scene be? Let's throw this or that at them. I will say that The Wolf and the Hawk is a little slower at the beginning and gets real intense toward the end. So it's not my perfect level of pacing, but I think I do still have enough action-y things of like people sparring and stuff to keep it from being too stagnant. Hopefully, that's the hope. But unfortunately, I can't be very helpful for like how you pace a story because I just kind of do it as I write. I just kind of know, which sounds very smug.
Well, you also listened to your beta readers,
Mhm.
and you did adjust some of the pacing
I did.
and some of the scenes based on their feedback. So solicit feedback.
Yeah, getting feedback is really important. I cannot stress that enough. Please, if you write something, get feedback as much as you can. People who read your genre, people who don't read your genre, as much as you can. Like grab every beta reader you can and shove your book into their hands and listen to their feedback. You don't have to take all of it, but listen to it. That's key. Got another question for me, Adam?
I'm a little bit behind in reading.
So am I.
Extra Hero asks, as an audiobook lover, do you ever consider it for your own book?
Yes. The Wolf and the Hawk will be an audiobook. To go through Amazon's audiobook system, the book has to be published, so I couldn't do anything with it until now. But it will be an audiobook. I have to do the work of finding a narrator, working with that narrator, figuring that whole thing out. So it's not going to be coming out like right away, but it will be an audiobook because I love audiobooks and I knew it needed to be one. Let's see here.
Extra Hero has a follow-up question. People say, write the type of book you'd want to read. I feel you've done that with this book. Is it true?
Yep. I always write the kind of book I want to read. That is the key.
So I'm gonna follow up though. Then you don't read too many romances.
That's true. But if I was to read a romance, it would be one like this. I do read romance sometimes, and this one has a secondary plot that's fairly strong to be something besides just the romance, and characters that aren't just focused on the romance. This book does pass the Bechdel test, if anyone is wondering. So it's got more meat than just the romance. I like to think. I wrote it, so. Adam, would you like to hit me with another question?
Certainly.
All right.
Did you feel, or excuse me, Hedgehog Dilemma asked, did you figure out the male lead as you went, or did you have him down in your head real well right when you started?
Rioni came first. Rioni. I keep pronouncing her own name wrong. I wrote the damn character and I keep pronouncing her name wrong. Rioni came first, storming in like the dynamo that she is. And then Xander came next, and he was pretty easy. I knew that he had to be very opposite to her, so it was pretty easy to figure him out after I had Rioni.
Firelight asks, how many chest scenes are there?
2, but there's one main one that is the one that all the beta readers liked, and were like, yes, this please.
There were only 2.
There's only 2.
Hmm.
There's mentions of chess throughout, especially after they play that first game, but there's only 2 chess scenes. You don't want to oversaturate. Waiting for Adam to give me another
Alright,
question.
Hedgehog now asks, are there sick action scenes?
Yes, though most of them come later. There are sparring scenes, so that we can get some motion, because motion is important. But these sick action scenes where characters are killed and characters are seriously injured happen late in the book, which normally if I was writing a fantasy, I would do a lot more of that throughout the book. But because of the pacing of the romance, I had to kind of save that for the end.
All right, I'll jump because it's kind of topical. Hedgehog Letter
Mhm.
asks, did you have to learn chess for this?
No, I cheated. I completely cheated my way through the chess scenes by being vague enough. Like, I knew enough about chess to, like, I knew all the pieces and kind of how they move vaguely. And the chess scene itself is vague enough that you don't really know where all the pieces are moving. And therefore, I didn't have to actually play a game of chess because I don't like chess.
I mean, I might have tried to teach you how to play
You
chess
did.
a decade ago or something.
And so did my dad when I was young. And I learned enough chess to know that I don't like chess.
Jesper Nielsen asks, how much do you rewrite before sending it to beta readers?
I do one major edit before I send it to beta readers. I still like to send it in a semi-chewy state with some scenes that I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to keep this scene or not, but let's see what beta readers say. So sometimes beta readers will be like, why did you keep this scene in? It seems so obvious that you shouldn't have it. And I'm like, well, I wanted to see what you thought first before I know, because you never know. Sometimes you could be like, oh, this scene doesn't need to be here, and then everyone loves it. So you never know. So I do kind of just do one big edit first and then send it to betas.
Extra Hero asks, did Adam offer criticism of your book in the beta process? And has he found the balance of being able to criticize you in a way that doesn't hurt your feelings?
Yes, and mostly. Adam, I always make him read, even though honestly, and this is weird, but this is something we know, my style is not his favorite style. And there's nothing wrong with that, because you don't have to love every style of writing out there. He's definitely much more of his favorite book series is Wheel of Time, which should tell you the difference in what he likes and what I write.
Grand political epics, dear.
He wants grand political epics. And I'm like, no, little character stuff. But I still make him read it, and he still does offer a lot of feedback. And actually, he is privy to the brainstorming phase. So some of the things in this book are thanks to him, because he helped brainstorm them. So, and he mostly criticizes without hurting my feelings, but it's not. It's impossible to do it without that, because you're so close to it and you're so close to each other. Like a beta reader, I can be like, oh, I don't agree with that. And then I can just carry on. But I have to explain to him why I don't agree with it and why I'm not going to keep it. And then he's like, fights for it. It's like, dear.
All right. I might skim some of our future questions, but our next one is Chocolate Witch doesn't read much romance.
Mhm.
Oh, wait, that wasn't a question. It was a comment. Sorry.
That's fine. You can read interesting comments too, because I'm kind of bogged down by them.
All right. Margaret asks us, their feedback is that their stories are too fast-paced and they can't figure out how to include stiller scenes without making it boring. Do you have any insight into including a calm scene and not making it boring?
How well do you know your characters? Because if you know them really well, that's a great character scene. And so if you are really in it and you're in the thick with your characters, your reader's going to be in the thick with your characters too. And the stiller scenes are often character building scenes for me. So if you're having a problem with them being boring, it's maybe you're trying to include too much information. Maybe you're just not as sure about the characters, or maybe you know them too well, but you're not conveying it enough to your reader. So really get in with your characters. And that's how the stiller scenes for me are usually character stuff. So that's how I do it. I don't know. Maybe that's not helpful for everyone, but that's my thought.
Chocolate Witch asks, publishing dreams?
I want to be a hybrid author. I would like to be self-published, which I am, and also traditionally published.
Extra Hero asks, are the protagonists tribe an analog to Native Americans?
No. A lot of people make that mistake. When they were reading it, some of the beta readers, even though I clearly say that Ryoni has white skin, a lot of them still pictured her with dark skin just because she lives in a nomadic tribe, but they are not based on Native Americans. The closest they are actually based on are Vikings. They're like land Vikings, kind of, is actually what they're kind of closer to, more based on. But you say tribe and people often think Native Americans, but that's not what they're based on at all.
All right.
Hang on, I'm going to read a comment
is
here.
A longtime
Okay.
fan of yours, and they've always loved having your reviews play in the background as they've done crafts.
Quality
They've
thing.
got a question for you. Apparently, they love the dulcet sounds of your skating.
Who wouldn't?
The question is, do you write to music or do you prefer complete silence when you write?
I can't write to silence. I have tinnitus, and so my world in silence sounds like a shrill whistle. So I have to have usually music, usually instrumental, or I've recently started listening to, I don't play Animal Crossing, but I find villager hunts soothing, so I put them on in the background when I write lately.
So Jesper is impressed that you only rewrite once before sending to beta readers. Do you do any further rewriting after that, or how much further rewriting do you do?
So much. When I get the beta feedback, that's when the real shit starts going down, and it is. I usually go do 2 more big passes through the book, at least. The first one is doing all the big changes that the betas have suggested, and then I go through again to make sure I haven't missed any of the changes that the beta suggested, because it's a lot of feedback and it's a lot to go through. So, and I absolutely hate it, if anyone's wondering how I feel about that process.
By the way, another vote for my philosophy here, for my agenda. Jesper says if you're planning to make this into a series, it has to have some sort of grand political plot.
I mean, there probably will be. It's not going to be in the foreground, but there's probably going to be some sort of grand political plot happening. I'm going to hate it.
All right, we have a question from Hedgehog. Your favorite romances
With the exclusion of Garrus and Shepard.
Made
it hard for you.
I know. And I have to think of all the romances that I actually like. I liked the romance in the Bone Houses. That was cute. I don't ship many characters together these days. My old asexual heart isn't as shippy as it used to be. I'm trying to think of books when I was younger that I ship. I know there are characters in the Song of the Lioness books, the Tamara Pierce's books that I have shipped, but I can't remember any of their names.
Oh yeah, Becca Cooper and
Becca Cooper and Farmer. They are a ship. Farmer is a delightful cinnamon roll. Basically, if the guy is a cinnamon roll, I'm into it.
All right. Cabbage Lord, we're moving to your questions. Your first one, which character would you fist fight? You're guaranteed to win no matter how unlikely.
Which character in my book?
In your book.
Okay. Guaranteed to win. I would have to fist fight Ryoni, because if I'm guaranteed to win, I can just experience an awesome fist fight. But otherwise, she would completely and 1,000% kick my ass.
I was thinking the one right-handed dude of Ryoni. I thought you might try to fist fight them.
Or Scran.
I think it's Scran.
Scran. I could see fist fighting him, but I think I'd want to fist fight Ryoni just to know what that was like.
I think it would be more impressive to see you fist fight Scran and then see you
He's this giant beardy guy. It'd be horrifying. And little tiny me.
All right. Author Extra, we got an upvote for an earlier question from Extra Hero. Authors are often pressured to create trilogies Do you feel that pressure for this book from your boss?
Are you my boss?
I'm your boss, I guess. I don't know.
No.
I've definitely been pressuring
This
you
is
to write series.
This is actually the first book in a long time that I felt any urge to make into a series. And if I didn't feel the urge, I wouldn't do it. But I wanted to keep, faffing around in this world. So it is going to be a series and not a trilogy.
It's going to be a septology.
No, I think they have like 5 kids. How many kids did I give my characters? There's going to be one for each of their daughters. So.
All right, we're catching up a little bit, so I'm going to go back and revisit some of the questions.
Pretty soon we're going to have to
I
stop answering
missed.
questions at least for a little while and give away some prizes.
Oh, yeah, giveaways.
We can
Right.
go back to answering questions if people want after
From
the prizes.
Margaret, what did you nail in this book that you might have struggled with early?
Just as a writer in
As a
general,
writer, yeah.
what have I struggled with in the past?
That you feel you nailed this time, that you definitely had difficulties with it earlier?
I've always struggled with world building, but in this book, I think I'm really starting to love culture building because I build 2 very distinct cultures. And I think that's my foot in the door to world building. I think that's going to get me into world building more, but I still struggle with it. It's just not my strongest thing.
Chocolate Witch wants to know, is the whole series planned? Queen of Pantsers, though you be.
The kids have names. They're all named in the series Bible that I bought for myself. Yeah.
Hedgehog asks, what is the male lead's culture based off of? Anything?
His culture is more standard. He's kind of the fantasy culture, the sort of English guy kind of thing. His culture was not hard to build because it was pretty normal. I did steal my Pantheon of Gods a little bit from one of my other stories that I haven't done anything with, but we don't do too much with those gods, so his was pretty easy to build. Rayoni's was more interesting.
Since we're talking about the future, all of these well-planned out future books, will the sequels
So
all
well.
be romances?
Yes. I am not, however, guaranteeing that they will all be heterosexual romances. We'll see. We'll see. The characters are going to fall in love with who they fall in love with. I don't have a lot of control.
All right. Extra Hero asks, one of their favorite things to read about is betrayal. But how much betrayal would you say made it into the story?
A percentage of betrayal in the story, 5. There's one of my least favorite tropes is betrayal, so there's
definitely no backstabbing arch villain betrayal. There is like disappointment and letdowns from people, but no betrayal.
But no like betrayal, like j'accuse, none of that really. Good night, Margaret. Margaret, I hope that's how you pronounce your name. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you.
All right. We are looking at 35. We do have a couple more questions that we haven't answered, but do you want to?
Yeah, we'll
do some
answer
giveaways?
the questions that we have now, and then we'll start giving away prizes. So you can feel free
Okay.
to ask more questions, but we're gonna stop answering them after these last
All right.
2.
Yeah. So Vince asks, which character did you have the most fun writing?
The horse. Her horse.
Did you model him after Pips?
I did not. He's his own horse. He's a pain in the ass. He hates everyone except Bryony, and I love him.
Hedgehog asks, this was from our earlier conversation, is it Puss that you stole the gods from?
No. Hedgehog, I actually stole the gods from my series of Amtgard short stories that no one read. I stole the Pantheon from there.
All right, so we got 2 last questions,
Okay.
and I think if I missed your question,
ping me in the chat, and we'll follow up on it later.
And then prizes.
For the two that I see are Extra Hero, do you or your fellow author tubers still believe in book trailers, or was that a fad that the book industry went through and it's all gone?
I would love to make more book trailers, but they're hard to make without using copyrighted footage. And it's a pain, so I haven't done it yet. I would love to make book trailers, but also I don't have any actors that look like Grayoni. I don't have a horse that looks like our horse. I don't have anyone that looks like Xander. So I can't really even make it myself. So I would have to use footage that already exists, and I don't want to use any copyrighted footage. So that's the answer to that. I love book trailers.
So Hedgehog asks a final question of me, and they want to know how much political machinations are going on
In this book?
and I'd say that there's not really any. Everything that happens is like there are political players, but it's more like family squabbles and more like challenging gender roles and norms, and it's not really political. Like there's no like double dealing in shady corners or applying leverage or things like that.
It's a little bit political, but minimally. Like, it's political in the fact that they're in a political marriage and some stuff goes down with Xander's dad. That's kind of political. All right. Let's get to giving out prizes. Adam will get a random number generator.
I'm already
He's
prepped.
got one. We're going to give these out like candy. So what we're going to do is first we're going to figure out who's winning the prizes, and then you're going to have to give me your address some way, not in the chat. Do not put your address in the chat. So you're going to have to get it to me if you win something on social media, my Twitter, my Insta, my Facebook. I don't care. Just get me your address somehow. If you've won something, tell me your name that was on the chat or whatever, and give me your address. And then I will send these things to you, small things like this, which I will be signing these little book cards, I'm calling them. I will send anywhere, so not United States limited. But if I give away anything else, like I might give this away. I might, if anyone is interested, I brought it in case anyone is interested, give away my copy of The Ables from my read along. We'll see if anyone's interested. Those will be United States only, unfortunately, because of mailing. But as for winning small things, anyone is eligible. These will also be included with a regular sized bookmark because I'm getting those printed now, but they weren't ready for this. So what we're going to do, Adam will generate a number randomly. All of you will guess the number. The first one to guess it correctly within a minute wins. Or if a minute goes by and no one has guessed it, we will award the person who gets the closest first, the closest first. Between 1 and 100, yes.
Are people getting multiple guesses?
Do we want to do multiple guesses?
The way you explain the rules insinuates multiple guesses, but it makes it more challenging for me to moderate.
So we'll just do one guess each, please. Please and thank you. And if you double up with somebody else's number, you can pick a different one. All right, fam. You have your number, Adam?
It doesn't matter. It's random. I will get it.
Okay.
People may choose their number.
People are choosing. We'll let you guys choose here. Do 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 do. While you guys are choosing, I'm actually going to go over to my Twitter because somebody asked me some questions on there.
All right. I'm going to give it 30 more seconds just in case anyone hasn't thrown a number in there.
These cards are sliding everywhere. Okay. Questions.
And I failed at getting my clock up at the time. So I'll just do 15 more seconds.
Okay.
No one's time.
Sure. My eyes keep watering. You're mess up my makeup. Gonna dance to the music inside my head. That's what I do. That's how I roll.
All right.
Okay.
So that is our first round winner is Vince Van Buskirk. who got it precisely with the number 4.
Oh, good job, Vince. You get some of these bad boys and a irregular sized bookmark. Please give me your address somehow, some way. I don't care how, whatever social media you need to get it to me at, but not here in the chat, please. So we'll set a couple of those bad boys aside for Vince. Let's do it again.
Do we want to give Vince one of our special ones for getting it right on, or are we going to see how close other people get?
What do you mean our special ones? The tiny ones?
Or another book?
No, we're going to keep doing these little bad boys. Okay.
All right.
Next, we're doing it again. We're doing it again. So guess your numbers.
All right. 1 minute from when I put it in the chat, please enter your next number.
Okay, I'm going to answer some questions from Twitter while we guess numbers. The first question this person asked me was, what inspired you to write The Wolf and the Hawk? And as usual, it was a character, and it was Rayoni, and she showed up, and she was like, hey, write me a book. And I was like, what book? And then I just kind of figured it out from there. That's how it always goes. Some character shows up, and it's like, bitch, write me a book. And then I have to figure out if I have enough. I have to figure out if I have enough to actually make that book happen, because I don't write every book that a character tries to get me to write. But Rayoni showed up, and I had enough, so I wrote her a book. There's no cool inspiration for really any of my books. All right, let's see.
All right, we're going to give 10 more seconds.
Okay, I won't answer the next question then. Woo, tiny bookmarks. On the back, they say, when the wolf meets the hawk. The back of the real-size bookmarks will have a quote from the book.
All right.
On the back of them. And this on the front.
Just
Winner, chicken
scanning
dinner?
Numbers. We had no one get it exactly right now.
Okay.
So we are going to be, our winner is going to be Firelight with
Firelight.
71. They were 10 away. It was 61. I apologize to Extra Hero. You showed up second in my chat stream as guessing 71.
All right, so who's at Firelight, you said?
Yes.
Firelight, get me your address however you can, please. And you will receive 2 of these bad boys and an actual bookmark. So it might be a little bit because I have to wait for the actual bookmarks to come in, but it will happen. They will come to you. Do you want to do one more of those, Adam?
Definitely.
I got so many of these. Ooh, next round starts now.
I'm so killing people.
I should start killing people. Or I should not. Let's see. I'm going back to Twitter again. Some of these have already been asked. What do I love most about The Wolf and the Hawk? Definitely, the characters, obviously, because characters are where it's at for me. If I'm not rolling around with the characters, I'm not a happy author. Given the chance, I would just write nothing but character stuff without a plot, but everyone would be extremely bored. So I have to put a plot in. Very disappointing. Unless I can figure out how to write literary fiction, but I am not skilled enough to do that.
Do you have another Twitter question you can ask real quick?
No, but I think I might have some on Facebook. Let me go over there and see. Can't remember where they were on Facebook, so let's.
All right, I'll be 8 more seconds while they search for the question, and I'll be wrapping up the
Okay.
round.
I don't actually know where it is on Facebook, so it might take me a second to find it. Which post was it on?
All right.
It's a mystery. Sorry, I'm being very boring right now, guys. I'm just scrolling through Facebook trying to see if I can find where somebody asked me questions. Because they didn't ask it in a message. They just asked it on a post.
All right.
have
Our
our
winner for
answer?
round 3 is Extra Hero. They guessed 7, and the answer was 13. So
All
we
right.
got our third winner.
So get me your address however you can. I promise not to start sending you spam. What do you think, Adam? Should we do like a big one, a book giveaway?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to do a big one. Do I want to give away my proof, or do I want to give away like an actual copy of the actual book?
So we can do 2 and
Mhm.
1, and the first one who wins gets the choice of proof or actual copy,
Okay,
and then the second one will just get the leavings.
sounds good. The leavings.
And
The leavings.
Even if you have won one of our smaller prizes, feel free
Yeah.
to guess again to get the bigger prize. We're just not going to let you get both of the books.
Yeah. Okay, so for a book, and probably the book will also come with these. I have so many. So it will come with a bookmark. It'll come with one of those. So let's do it. Guess your numbers for the book. If it is this one, it will be signed. If it is not, I'm going to order it directly from Amazon to you, so it won't be signed. But I can sign this one, and also the book. These little book cards, I'm going to sign them, so you will have that. I know my signature is worth so much. Someday when I'm famous. When I'm dead. I failed to find the questions that were on Facebook, so I'm sorry to the Facebook person. Whoever they may be, your questions were buried somewhere on Facebook. That sucks, but
All right, 10 more seconds, and then we'll start things off.
win a book. I'd win a flawed book that says not for resale on it. And also a little bit of the L comes up onto the... I didn't have time to get another proof of the latest edition, so I really hope that that looks okay. End of round 4. Who's our winner?
I am double checking. It looks like Chocolate Witch
Chocolate Witch.
with a guess of 90. The number was 85.
Yay! Chocolate Witch. Are you in the United States, Chocolate Witch? Because if you are, you could have this if you wanted it. Otherwise, I'll have to send you an Amazon copy.
You shall.
Chocolate Witch
I
is
think that They are
excited.
excited, so I think that means they are in the United States. Do you wish a promo copy, a proof copy, or do you wish an actual copy?
Flawed book or less flawed book? Either way, it's probably still flawed. There might be some lag. I don't know where Chocolate Witch is located.
We do have a couple seconds lag. Chocolate Witch, feel free to correct it. We will let you ponder for a minute,
Mm-hmm.
but do let us know which one you want. We will do a next round is a round of cards while you think about that.
Okay. Gonna do another round of these little shits. Right here. Chocolate Witch wants the flawed copy. Okay, Chocolate Witch. Chocolate Witch, get me your address in some way. Obviously not in the chat.
All right. So I've caught, while people are guessing, I'm catching up on some of the older questions and some that people have thrown at you. Why did you decide to write a fantasy romance? And are there any books or movies you would compare it to that inspired it?
I decided to write a fantasy romance because the characters that showed up belonged in a fantasy romance. Everything is about characters with me. The answer is always the characters, usually. Are there any movies that inspired it? Maybe a little bit Pride and Prejudice, because I would say that Xander is Darcy-esque in that he is a little bit prideful and a little bit snobby at first. And I do love the movie version of Pride and Prejudice. So maybe that. But otherwise, not really, as far as movies.
All right, I've got one more question for you, and then as I figure out who is the winner of this round.
I wish I could do card tricks.
Are there any lesbian characters in this story?
Yes. Or are there? Now I have to think. Are there any lesbians? Actually, no. There are no on-the-page lesbians. They're on the page gay guys. They're on the page asexuals. And they're on the page bisexuals. But actually, I think lesbians are underrepresented in The Wolf and the Hawk. I apologize, lesbians.
All right, so our winner is LS, guessing 62. The number was 59.
62. All right. Give me your address some way, somehow, please. And I will send them to you with a bookmark. It'll be a good time.
Catch up with my notes. Because
Come on, Bob Smear. Probably.
Chocolate was our winner for book, and they wanted the
flawed one. They wanted the proof, which will be signed.
All right. So now are we doing a whole book giveaway?
Yeah, let's do another book. Let's do the Amazon copy, so it will not be signed, but it can go anywhere in the world. Presumably, wherever Amazon can send things. I guess I don't.
Well, it could be if it's U.S. based, we could get it signed, or no?
I could. If it's US based and you're willing to wait, because I'd have to send it to me and then send it to you, so it's going to take longer. But if you want it signed, that is a possibility.
All right. Minute of guessing for round 6 has begun.
All right. Guess your numbers.
And I have a question I could ask you. What is something you say is a good quality of the main characters?
Good qualities of the main characters. They have a lot of good qualities. And any second now, I will tell them to you. Rayoni is... she is kick-ass, which I appreciate in a woman. She is determined. She doesn't give up when she's faced with coming to this new place and finding out that her husband really isn't interested in her. She doesn't give up, and she doesn't surrender. She has a temper, but she tries to keep it under control. She's forgiving of Xander's fuck-ups. Xander is... I can't give too many spoilers because I don't want to tell you why you should like him. I want to let you have your own notions of him as you read. So I won't tell you too much about him, but he likes to read. So there's that. And he plays chess really well. I assume Alaska should be fine.
All right. So let's see. Sorry, I didn't give a 10-second warning for the ending of round 6.
For the book.
But
and also more of these things. Oops.
What is it? Let me just double check. Did I see it? I thought I could have. Oh, there we go. LS with 92. The random number was 90.
Okay, LS. You're getting more of these. And you got yourself a book. If you're in the United States, you can let me know to send it to me so I can sign it and then send it to you. Otherwise, I can send it to you anywhere from Amazon. Please get me your address, whatever way possible. Obviously, not in the chat. The fact that my makeup is smeared is driving me insane, but whatever. It's fine. LS is in the US. Cool. Would you like a signed copy, LS?
All right. So
Yes,
Alice-
LS would like a signed copy.
Okay, Alice
Will you
wants
make
to
a note of that?
Making no.
He's got a lot of windows open. Thank goodness for Adam. He's my hero. I would not be able to do this all by myself. I'd be freaking out right now.
All right. So I've got a couple questions that we can answer real quick, and then we'll probably do another card giveaway, and then the final read-along giveaway.
Sure.
All right.
Oh, wow.
This
Texas
is from
Red. Been here since
J.E.
2018.
Parazi. Another question for you. What would you most like to see as an author? Fanfic, cosplay, or fan art? And of those three, which character would you most prefer?
That is like my favorite question of the night. You win. I'd love to see all of that. It's between fanfic and cosplay, to be honest with you. And the writer in me and the fanfic writer in me, I want to see fanfic. Write fanfic. Write things that I would never have happen. Pair up characters that make no sense together. Please, I want that fanfic. I just make everyone gay. You know how fanfic do. I want it.
All right. I have to apologize. We probably have a lot of literate, booky people here, and you've got like the worst speller typer controlling, moderating the chat. So I apologize.
We apologize. Adam, I'm the writer, and he can barely type sometimes. He's very dyslexic, so be nice to him, but yes, he's bad at it. So he's going to misspell everything. Let's see. What do we got?
And we're doing one last round for bookmarks, if anyone wants to throw numbers in there. And then our 8th round, I think, will be our final giveaway round. And that's when we're going to give away the signed read-along copy of The Able.
If anyone wants it. All right, we got numbers coming in.
And I'm just,
Dun, dun.
as I take a
Dun,
moment
dun,
to
dun,
look
dun, dun,
through.
dun, dun.
Okay, we have another question as this round goes. Without spoilers, what is a creature design that you really liked making?
Honestly, I'm actually looking forward more to a creature that's going to be in the second book.
Ooh.
Yeah. I have plans for it. I can't tell you what it is, but I have plans for it. The fantastical creatures in this book are the Thra, who are a humanoid race. And to be honest with you, they're not the most interesting. They're not meant to be very deep because they're just kind of meant to be a scary threat. So they're just kind of very tall. They have blue skin. They like to hit things. But so it wasn't the most fun to create them. But look forward to book 2 for a more interesting creature.
All right. So this round of guesses has ended, and as I look through,
Who's going to keep doing stuff with these?
Let me double check this. Nothing productive with a guess of 68. Our random number was 74. Yes.
Yeah, nothing productive. You're getting some cards and a bookmark. Get me your address some kind of way. Please and thank you. I'm going to have to make sure I go very carefully through all of my various social medias now to make sure that I get everybody. If I miss you for some reason, if like a month goes by and you haven't seen anything, please speak to me because I've just missed you. It's not because I hate you. I assume.
Round 8 begins now for a signed copy of the read-along.
The Ables, my read-along copy. There's nothing special about it. I didn't annotate it. However, there's probably a chocolate stain somewhere on one of these pages.
Tasty.
Yeah. I could write something snarky in the cover if you wanted. Again, unfortunately, I can only send this to people in the U.S.
All right. So as this goes, we have another question. Is Xander a wimp?
A wimp?
Yes.
I wouldn't call him a wimp.
You wouldn't call him a wimp?
No, he is not what you would call like a burly manly man. That's Scran. Scran is the muscle-bound giant burly manly man, but Xander isn't a wimp. He is not traditionally like masculine. He's masculine in a different way. And I think to call someone who is maybe like less stereotypically masculine a wimp really does a disservice to men in general. So he's definitely not a wimp, and he can be pretty kick-ass. He's got a bow and arrow. He shoots people. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to subvert. There it is. I absolutely hate that in fantasy, the female character always gets the bow and arrow. So I gave my main character a battle axe, and her romantic interest, the man, a bow and arrow. He's really good with it. That's why he's the Hawk of Ged. But he uses the bow and arrow, thank you very much. And Rayoni swings a giant F-off war axe and murders people with it. So that's a trope that you can look forward to being subverted all over the frickin' place. This book, you guys. This book. The Ables. Why?
All right, that is the end of round 8. Our winner is Sarah with a guess of 55.
55, Sarah, you win. This copy of the Ables. You're subjected to this copy of the Ables. I can write something snarky inside it for you and get me your address in some way. I'll have it for you.
All right, we've gone a little bit over an hour. We do have a handful of questions left still. Are we going to continue and answer questions for those who
I
stick
did say I
around?
would go for an hour and a half if people were interested.
All right, so we've
So
got
we could
another
stay here for like
28
another,
minutes.
yeah.
We definitely have a handful of questions. I have some that I've saved, and then I'll
Thank
try
you to everybody who
score-
came along. Thank you to everybody who participated to try to win prizes and to asking me questions, because I was worried I was just going to have to sit here and like 2 people would ask me questions and I would be sad.
Hey, if they're still asking questions,
I'll answer them. I will sit here and answer questions. Like he's going to have to drag me away. He's going to be like, okay, your stream is like 3 hours long. Shut up.
All right. So one of our saved questions is for both of us. They have a big love of monster designs.
Mhm.
The question to both of us is, what monster design from any kind of media do you guys love?
Oh, geez. Anything from the Dark Crystal. I love Jim Henson. He's one of my heroes, and Brian Froud's designs are absolutely my favorite. Jesper, you have to go. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you.
My monster design. So I like out there creepy monsters. So things like Guillermo del Toro.
Ooh,
But I have 2 like local artists that I know that imagine their own monsters kind of along that same theme. And one's name is Hawks and one's name is Martha. And neither of them really publish or sell their art, but I am definitely love their monster designs. And it's very that Guillermo del Toro-esque, especially like the hand guy, creepy like that.
Creepy vibes.
Next question for Julian. Well, here. All right, this was another question. It was
Chocolate
tagged
Witch,
for
are you leaving?
me.
If you
I
gotta
don't
go,
know.
hang on. Chocolate Witch, if you're going, I love you. Bye. Thank you for coming.
This is a longer question.
Do you have a dream cast if your book was made into a movie or show?
Not really. I'm not one of those authors who casts my books. Yeah, not really. Sorry.
Are any of the Thra named?
No. The Thra, I will tell you, if you're looking for a very deep villain, there are multiple villains in this book, but the Thra are of the scary, impending, definitely going to fuck you up variety, not so much the deep or get to know variety. There is a secondary villain who you do know a little bit better, but I have tried singing Rainbow Connection Extra Hero, and I didn't do well, so I didn't publish it, but maybe in the future. It does slap though. I love that song. I have a hard time not tearing up when I hear that song.
You could sing it. Are you going to sing it?
I'm not going to sing it right now. No, I'm not.
No?
No, I am not.
Aw.
I might sing it for Julian Sings, but I'm not singing it right now.
Is there anything you can tell us about the sequel?
Oh, there's so much I want to tell you about the sequel. I want to just talk about the sequel now. Like that's how my brain works. Once I finish a book, I am over it. Like kick it out the door. I don't care. I'm on to the next thing. And so I'm already writing the sequel. I'm already about 5 chapters in.
There's a pony in it.
Mm-hmm.
And
of course there's horses.
A prince in it.
There is a prince. And he's handsome too. This one will star they have like 5 daughters, I think is what I gave them, because I want to write them all about women. And if you have a problem with that, too bad. And so this one stars their sort of middle daughter, Marin, who is going to one of the 9 kingdoms. She's going to another kingdom to become apprentice horsemaster there, because Marin really loves horses. And so she goes there, and let's just say there's a handsome prince there, but there's also trouble a-brewing in this seaside kingdom. So, and there's also a cool monster. It's going to be good. I'm very excited. There's going to be more disability rep in that one. I'm hoping I do a good job with it.
LS wants to know if it's okay for them to send you fan art if they ever make it one of the characters.
I would absolutely love that. I don't have a P.O. box or anything, but like if you send it to me digitally, I freaking love fan art. I've gotten some before, and I absolutely love it. I will share it. I will like share it around. I'll be like, look. I'm like a proud mom with like, look.
Hedgehog asked if there's a theme song for this book.
There's a couple. Usually I have theme songs for characters more than the books. Ryone's is Savage Daughter, which I actually sing on my channel. So if you want to hear that, that's her theme song. Xander's theme song is Warrior Poet King. I think that song is like, there will come a warrior who carries a mighty sword. That one's his. I don't sing that one on my channel yet.
All right. J.E. Perazzi asks, what are your top 3 favorite romance tropes? And did you put any of them in the story?
Hate to love is a big one of mine. And this is kind of a hate to love. Like, Ryone doesn't dislike Xander until he's an ass. And even then, she kind of doesn't dislike him. She's just like, what's going on with this guy? But Xander doesn't like her at first and just kind of wants her to be gone. So there's kind of a hate to love aspect, at least a one-sided in this one. Fake dating is a romance trope that I love and is not in this. And obviously arranged marriage is a romance trope that I like, except for I'm usually disappointed because I kind of want the arranged couple to get together. So that's why I did it in this book.
J.E. also has another follow-up question.
Mm-hmm.
They just made custom candles for their horror series, which they think is a good idea. And like in reality, I like that idea too. So they have to ask, what would candles inspired by the main characters be like? Smell like?
Ryone's would definitely be very woodsy, like campfire smoke. Outdoorsy smell, like pine. Outdoorsy smells. And Xander's would probably be like old book smell.
That's what I was thinking. All right. Cabbage Lord has a question for both of us.
Okay.
In honor of the Ables, what is your dream superpower? And if superpowers were real, what superpower do you think you would actually have? So first is your dream, and then what is probably more realistic?
Of course, Adam and I have talked about this, because what couple hasn't talked about what their superpowers would be?
Indeed.
Mine would be to read minds selectively, not all the time, because as a person with social anxiety, I am constantly worried that I am pissing off everyone around me. And if I could read their minds and make sure that I wasn't, I would be a lot less anxious. What about you, Adam?
So I always go back and forth, and usually there's like a group of superpowers, and then like time travel is the most powerful. I definitely like the time travel or immortality or super healing. And I like those. If failing those, super speed, probably. That's a more common one to get. What is most likely, though, for me is like probably empathy and like healing of others.
He's a people person. Adam could probably guess what mine is too.
Probably be an empath. And what would yours? Fire burn things?
Oh, that's close. I am a fire witch, but actually
talks with animals.
Yep, talks with animals. I basically have that already, so
Well,
it wouldn't be a
only-
big step into superpower.
You only speak certain animal
True.
languages right now.
I speak horse really well, and ferret okay.
Alright. So we have a couple more questions here. Another one from Cabbage Lord. Since we don't have too many, we'll just go in order and give Cabbage Lord another question. Julian, what do you think is the biggest missed opportunity in the Ables?
How mean do I want to be?
Missed opportunity. So what was their? It's just their missed opportunity.
Oh, okay. I'm going to give you the mean answer. The missed opportunity in the Ables is that someone else didn't write it. Because Jeremy Scott was too new and too novice to write this book. This is a fine concept if an author with more experience had written it. But they didn't.
All right.
Set that down over there.
Extra Hero asks a lighter question. What would be included in a Wolf in the Hawk subscription box?
Probably one of those candles we mentioned earlier, if not more than one. Probably some of those fucking little cards. Some of these guys, like 80 of them, just like confetti in there.
A brush, like a hairbrush,
Mhm.
but it's themed and stylized after a conventional horse brush.
Okay. So it looks like a horse brush. You brush your hair with a horse brush. Probably some tea themed after, maybe, tea themed after Anna. That could be like cinnamon and clove and really like, Rayoni gets assigned a handmaiden when she gets to the castle because she doesn't have one named Anna, and I love Anna. Vince is like, shots fired. Yes, Vince.
A custom chess piece, perhaps.
Yes. Ooh, a custom chess piece. That'd be so expensive to put in a box, but who cares?
Yeah. I mean,
It's
if
a
we have a
fictional
small
box.
number of boxes, we could hire a particular woodworker we know
It's
to be
true.
like, please make.
Please.
Oh, we could carve scented soap chess pieces after. That's easier to carve.
Anyway, next question.
Yep.
Stop ranting.
Rambling, but yes.
Cabbage Lord is happy you were mean. Favorite fantasy creature, Julian?
I don't know if I can pick. I do love dragons, specifically ones that can transform into humans. I'm going to write more books about them eventually in the future. I have a whole universe none of you have seen where with dragon human people. It's Adam's favorite.
It's my favorite of your creation.
He's so mad it was shelved. He's like, bring that one back. I'm like, here's a new book, Adam. He's like, it isn't that one. But I don't know otherwise if I have a favorite fantasy creature. J.E., I might want candles.
All right.
Do you have an Etsy, J.E.?
All right. Well, okay, so you've asked them a question. We'll
Yeah.
wait for that response. We have another from J.E. Hey, if you ever decided you want candle... Oh,
Yeah, that's the one I was
question.
just responding
okay.
to.
I'm sorry, I'm behind the time.
Yeah. Do we have any other questions, or do people run out of questions? That's
So,
fair if you have.
All right, I think we have...
Finally caught up on questions.
Okay.
If we missed your question, feel free to paste it back in the chat and let us know.
Extra Hero asks the question, are there flashbacks in the story? There are memories, but no long flashback sequences. I try to avoid those when I can. I commission them.
Okay, so Get Fictional and Little Mouse Bookshelf, both
Okay.
on Etsy.
Cool. Will you kill my fave? Yes. Probably.
Are they a beta reader? Do they know?
She I think started, I don't remember, but they did not get far enough to see anyone die. And yes, I probably will.
I mean,
I shouldn't say anything.
You shouldn't.
All right,
He knows who
LS,
dies.
have you ever considered writing trans characters? If you have, but wanted to hear experiences from trans people, they'd be willing to help out.
Okay, I actually I've written a trans character in a book that is currently shelved, but will be trying to be mainstream published hopefully sometime. I'm in the queer community around here, so I have quite a few trans friends. So I feel like I've got some basis for writing a trans character. However, I don't personally feel confident yet writing a main character who is trans, just because I am not, and I don't know that that's my story to tell. But I do plan on including trans characters, yes. And for all I know, in future books within the Wolf and the Hawk series, there might be trans characters. I will find out when they show up and are like, hey, I'm in your book now.
All right, J.E. asks, since you chose the Wolf and the Hawk, they have to ask, have you ever seen Lady Hawk? Why did you choose those two animals?
I have seen Lady Hawk, and I chose those two animals because they sounded good together. Being a writer seems really deep, but it's not.
All right, if I managed to be a writer, I would be a planner, and I'd have deep readings. But this is a
You would be
cancer
so
over
much
here.
deeper than me. I'm just like, what's two animals that sound good? A wolf and a hawk. That sounds good. They're both cool animals. It's good. It's great. Oh, I remember somebody asked me a question on Facebook that was, are there other characters who have names with animals in them within the book? Because we've got Rayoni the Wolf of the Vern and Xander the Hawk of Ged. And there's one more, I think, that I do name in the book. It's kind of a royal thing, but you do meet Xander's dad, who is the Hound of Randland. He is the Radish King. He's a Ranish King, but it's a joke in the book.
I thought
Anyway.
you said Radish King.
No, they make that joke in the book.
Oh,
He's
do
the
they?
Ranish King, but then Ezra calls him the Radish King because she's snarky like that. But he is the Hound of Randland, and he is the High King of the Nine Kingdoms.
Ooh. As an aside, if you don't regularly catch our good thing, bad thing, you should check last week's good thing, bad thing. My good thing was a cool story about a hawk.
And an eagle, even. Let's see. Totally a plotter. I'm sorry, I disappoint with I'm just like, that sounds cool. Put it into story. That sounds cool.
I'm trying to make them a plotter. We have arguments over.
Yeah, if no one has been able to make me a plotter by now, it's probably not going to happen. But if people ever, if way in the future somebody finds one of my books and, tries to dissect it for their English class, they're going to be like, oh, the symbolism. And I'm going to be like, nah, it sounded good. Oh, dear.
All right, Cabbage Lord asks, if Rione and Andy from Zenith switch places, how screwed are they?
Both worlds are pretty screwed, but more from the fish out of water-ness than necessarily that the characters are the worst in each other's. Rione would definitely be like, can we stop murdering everyone we meet? I know that I come from a warrior tribe, but we don't need to murder everyone. And she would go talk to the people in charge, and a lot of things would be resolved because Rione would try diplomacy first. And I think probably if Andy went into our world, she'd probably ditch Xander really fast and just go off and do whatever the fuck she wanted. Probably murder people. She'd probably have to be hunted down because she would be murdering people. And Xander loves his kingdom, and he would be like, please stop murdering people. I'm going to shoot you with a bow and arrow now. Cabbage Lord, giving a good questions. Cabbage Lord, I have a question for you. Has a small bald child with an arrow on his head ever knocked over your cabbages? I need to know. All right, guys, we have about 10 more minutes. Get your questions out now before we end this stream.
I'm going to throw out there the difference between pantsers and plotters. plotter is it's
Mhm.
really should be, in my mind, about what you enjoy.
Mhm.
And that's the unfortunate thing for me, while I'll never actually be a writer, is because I just enjoy the world building. I enjoy the outlining. I don't
Mhm.
need to write the story because I just outline everything in my head and on paper. But Julian likes to see the characters actually out there doing stuff. And I'm like, I want the world. I don't need a character. What's that for?
what to do with characters? No, obviously with me, it's I get the character and then I just let them guide me through the story for the most part. There is a part of my brain that is doing all of the nitty gritty. This scene needs to be here. This scene needs to be here. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Take it out. There is a part of my brain that's doing that as I write, but the main part of my brain is just like, "Whee! We're having an adventure," and that's how it goes. LOL, I love politics. I hate characters. Yep, Chocolate Witch, different strokes. Yeah, there's no wrong way to write. And if anybody ever tells you that the way you're writing, if it is getting words on the page for you, then you are doing it correctly. End of. Reading comments, I'm sorry. LS got in an accident and totaled their car. That's sad, but I guess they're happy to be in the chat, so that's happy. But I'm sorry about your car. I feel that. A car is a big expense. It's a big oof, for sure. Xander would send her alone to fight the Thra of Andy. Yes, that is true. Xander would be like, go. You seem really bloodthirsty. Go.
All right. An extra question / ego boost from ego stroking from Extra Hero.
Which is weird because Extra Hero doesn't usually do
book
that.
Coming out
I'm nervous.
is one of the rare silver linings of 2020. How does it feel?
I don't know as if I'd even be brave enough to call it a silver lining.
It's just because the year is so crappy.
Okay, I will take that. The year is so crappy that my book, my little fantasy romance, can be a silver lining. And that just makes me distressed because the year is so crappy. You would, I understand. Cabbage Lord says, that's a very personal question, Julian. You would have to come to the next Cabbage Card Anonymous meeting to find out. I understand. I'm sorry for asking such a personal question, Cabbage Lord. I understand why that would be difficult for someone of your cabbage stature. Any more questions, guys, before we end out?
I mean,
questions, concerns,
so
fan theories?
We could wrap things up 7 minutes early, or we could all cajole Julian into singing for us the Rainbow Connection.
I will not sing the Rainbow Connection.
But they could.
I would maybe sing Savage Daughter if you wanted, but why would you want that? So Hedgehog knows me. Hedgehog, we have the same brain. I have to look up the lyrics though. Only if you guys want that. It's weird. Thank you, J.E. Chocolate Witch has been a productive year for you. Cool. Yes, that's good. It's been a productive year for me too. In between, like the disasters, when the rubble clears, sometimes I can be like, oh yeah. It is kind of hard though to be like publishing a book. Very weird year, but I'm hoping that it's the kind of book, because it's not a challenging book, it's not a book that has a lot of deeper meaning. It's just to read and be happy. So that's where we're at with this book, and I'm hoping that it can make people happy this year a little bit. Firelight wants to know if anything's happening with Boots. Boots is on the back burner. It does still have a few feelers out with agents, but agents seem very uninterested in Boots. So it's possible that Boots will be self-published, but it's probably a little bit in the future. Oh, good. Cabbage Lord forgives me. Sorry, I'm just reading comments. That's really boring to watch, I know. Anything else, Adam?
I'm pondering if there's any advice we can give to Ella, who's great at making character biographies and fan art, but can't string a
And
plot
original art.
together. And
Yeah. I don't know if I have any advice, because usually when I get a character, if they're meant to be in a book, the plot comes shortly thereafter. At least enough of the plot that I can get going. Yeah. Writing scenes of character interaction is perfectly fine. All writing is practice. So even though you're not really getting practice at the thing you want to practice, you're still practicing at key skills. So it's still important. Vince, do what? Do it? Right here, right now?
Self-published boots, I'm guessing.
Oh, okay.
Is my interpretation from the Do It, which I agree, but
It will probably be self-published.
are you prepping the song?
I have Savage Daughter, which I can read like after most of the people leave. Or sing after most of the people leave.
the people were begging for it.
Okay, like 2 people. That's not the people. All right, we'll get to 7:30, and then I will sing Savage Daughter for anybody else who's still there. And you are completely free to leave if you don't want that, which I understand. I hope there's nobody else in this building, or it's going to get real awkward.
So, I don't know. Maybe if you're, I don't know. For those of you who are trouble with plotting, but you're great with characters, maybe if you're like a role player or a tabletop role player, maybe if you can imagine them as players at a table and what type of campaign they might enjoy going through.
That they might get up to.
And or mischief. Or maybe if like you were like one of their friends, what type of adventures would you like to do with them? And then if once you find the adventure you want them to do, then you just find a character in the world that doesn't want that. And they're
Yeah.
fighting against them.
Sometimes I do struggle with character conflict. I want my characters to get along too much is a problem that I sometimes have. I just want them all to be friends.
Woot. Congrats, J.E., on your first game of D&D.
Yes,
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It's good stuff. It's harder to play D&D in the apocalypse, but you can play it online. There's ways.
Yeah, trying to set up an online campaign for us soon.
I agree with you, Firelight. Pick something about your character that you want to change. Knowing where I want my character to be at the end of the book, not so much what the end of the book itself is going to be, because the climaxes just kind of happen on their own. But knowing where I want my character to be at the end of the book is actually how I get there. So like, character is this way at the beginning. Character needs to be that way at the end. What is in between? That's where the adventure happens. Not necessarily, like, Rayoni doesn't have a huge arc, but she is in a different place at the end, so does that make sense? Also, letting your characters do what they want and be who they want to be instead of trying to rigidly adhere them to the plot, I feel like. Because if you're really attached to your plot and you force your characters down it, they're going to struggle. Yeah, Chocolate Witch, not every character will have an arc. They don't necessarily all need to have an arc. Xander has more of an arc than Rayoni in this. She's not exactly the same from beginning to end, but she comes in with a very strong personality, and that personality stays through.
Ooh.
J.E. recommends the
60
Story Grid
seconds away from
podcast.
song time.
And we still have 15 people in here. If anybody's watching this after the fact, they're going to be like, what is happening?
Hey, so why would they be what is happening? Would they not know why they're here?
Hedgehog says, whenever I read plot advice, it always feels so dissecting. That's why I don't read a lot of writing books, like how to write, because it feels like it's trying to dissect something that my brain does naturally. And I just kind of let my brain do the thing. And then after my brain has done the thing, I go, how do I fix the thing? So it is playing God, Firelight. That's the point. I am a benevolent God who definitely murders the crap out of people.
Are you though?
I know. I murder the crap out of people. I injure them real bad. 1 minute, Last
No,
chance to ask
3,
me any last
2,
second questions.
1.
There it is.
My clock says it is time. You can still
All right.
ask questions.
But
Okay. We did get a quick from Cabbage Lord. Bed, wed, behead. Riona, Alexander, or Scran?
I have to behead one of them, and that's upsetting.
Mhm.
I love them all.
I mean,
Bed Frione, because she's been with women, so she knows how to wed Xander, because I think I could find his softer side. I wrote him, so I know it's there. And I guess that means I have to behead Scran, but he's so badass. He would escape being beheaded by me, and he'd just be like, I'm outie, and then.
So, for me, Alexander is a little girl's blouse.
Hey!
I
you.
mean, they are a strong character, but like, I'm definitely more into Rione and Scran personally. So I would probably behead Alexander, and then I would probably bed Rione, and then I think Scran is a more caring, doting partner than Rione is. So I think I would.
He's secretly a
Scran.
sweet boy. All right. Anybody who doesn't want to be here for the singing part, leave now, because I'm gonna fucking sing a song, and it's gonna be really awkward if there's someone else somewhere in this building. Anybody who's watching this after the fact, you want to hear a better version of this song? I already have it on my channel, but this is Rione's theme song. Oh, there is someone in this building. I'm gonna sing quietly.
I don't think there's anyone here.
I hear voices.
They're probably just people who live upstairs.
Gosh, I hope so, because they're gonna get sung at.
They're gonna get sung at. There's usually a radio playing in here all the time.
The song is by Sarah Hester Ross, and I hear that it's made it over to TikTok, so that's cool. I am my mother's savage daughter, the one who runs barefoot, cursing sharp stones. I am my mother's savage daughter. I will not cut my hair. I will not lower my voice. My mother's child is a savage. She looks for omens in the colors of stones, in the faces of cats, in the falling of feathers, in the dancing of fire and the curve of old bones. I am my mother's savage daughter, the one who runs barefoot, cursing sharp stones. I am my mother's savage daughter. I will not cut my hair. I will not lower my voice. My mother's child dances in darkness. She sings heathen songs by the light of the moon, and watches the stars and renames the planets, and dreams she can reach them with a song and a broom. I am my mother's savage daughter, the one who runs barefoot, cursing sharp stones. I am my mother's savage daughter. I will not cut my hair. I will not lower my voice. We are all brought forth out of darkness into a world through blood and through pain, and deep in our bones the old songs are waking, so sing them with voices of thunder and rain. We are our mother's savage daughters, the ones who run barefoot, cursing sharp stones. We are our mother's savage daughters. We will not cut our hair. We will not lower our voices. We are our mother's savage daughters, the ones who run barefoot, cursing sharp stones. We are our mother's savage daughters. We will not cut our hair. We will not lower our voices. Yay, thank you. All of you stayed. I don't know why. I have to end this stream sometime. So thank you all for coming. Thank you, Hedgehog. That's like the only kind of song I can sing well. If it's mid-range and folky, I got it nailed down. Anything else? All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming. I love you all and Merry Christmas. That's an obscure joke no one will understand. Let me know if you do. Go back to work, J.E. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Mwah. Bye. Don't forget to give me your addresses if you want stuff. Say bye, Adam.
Bye, Adam.